Is this thing on? Welcome to Rebooted the Podcast. I'm your host, Alita Hernandez. Come join me weekly to hear about my journey from recovery to healing after having a stroke and other life challenges. So let's get talking. Hi, everybody. Your host here, Alita Hernandez, Rebooted the Podcast. Happy to see you again on Tuesday, June 21st. June is running fast for some reason. I guess the year is running fast. But today we're talking about healthy eating. And my guest today is a nutritionist, a holistic nutritionist. And we'll get talking to her in a little bit. Just to give you a little more intro. So I've learned now in my research and in my journey the last 5.5 years that healthy eating begins before you're even pregnant. Okay, you have to take care of your health in order to take care of your child's health. And a lot of times we don't realize it, and we talk about hereditary diseases. Unfortunately, and you can look this up, there are certain diseases that really are not hereditary. It is because of the foods that we eat. And with the research that I found in food, there's a lot of processed food that makes it last longer. You know, when you take a loaf of bread and you put it on the counter and it still stays fresh after a week? Why is it still fresh? Okay, there's preservatives in there. And unfortunately, some of the chemicals that they use to preserve our food to last long are DNA. From the research I've done from different medical reviews, it does affect our body. And that's why people say, oh, we're all so different. We're really not different. We're only different because of the food we eat, not because of what biologically we have. We all have the same organs in our body, and we're all born the same way. So that we're not different that way. We're just different on how our body accepts certain foods. And for example, I have been trying to eat clean and healthy for the last 5.5 years. And over the weekend, I went away for the weekend to Fort Myers, and there was nothing to grab healthy. It was crazy, unless I go into Publix or supermarket to buy some vegetables. So we stopped. I went to get a coffee. I ordered a coffee. It had milk. I don't drink dairy at all, so I couldn't even drink the coffee. They had no alternative milk. And then I said, oh, how bad? Maybe I'll have a little donut. I haven't had a donut in years. Well, what happened was I ate half the donut, and I got such a sugar rush, I got sick. And you don't realize the stuff you put in your body and what you get used to eating. So if you're used to eating like donuts every day and bagels and all this other carbs and really unnecessary food, because it's really just a filler. It's not food to nourish you. It's just to make you full. Okay, that's the issue, is that we eat a lot of things that just make us full. But talking again about eating healthy. So I found out when I was pregnant with my children, so my son is 26 years old, my oldest, my youngest one is going to be 22. Back then, at 26 years ago, internet was just beginning. I think AOL had just come out. Everybody had an AOL, you got mail kind of thing back then in those days. And I lived in California, and in California is a very holistic, it's kind of strange. California has a lot of great things and a lot of weird things too. That's how we call it, Hollyweird. But, and I lived there for 13 years. But there's a lot of, they really, they don't put pesticides, and they have really high restrictions on how they grow their vegetables and their fruits and everything like that. So just to let you know, if you ever go to the supermarket and you don't find organic, buy California grown. It's the closest to organic. Just so you know, a little tip that I found out. So I was doing holistic and buying organic back in 95 before I had my son, and trying to be healthy. And I was working out 6 days a week. I was in the best shape of my life. I was 30 years old when I got pregnant with my first son, and I was in really good shape. And I got pregnant with him and followed that healthy diet during the whole time I was pregnant. Unfortunately, I did get gestational diabetes, which is when you become diabetic while you're pregnant. So I had like full-blown diabetes when I was pregnant. And so I had to watch my intake. For some reason, I craved oranges when I was pregnant with my son Gabriel, and I would eat like 5 or 6 fresh oranges a day, and then they limited me to 1 a day. So I would cut it up in little pieces and have like a little piece in the morning, a little piece in the afternoon, just because I couldn't eat that. I did crave a lot of fruits, cantaloupe, which has folic acid, other fruits and vegetables I did crave. And but for some reason, because I was unhealthy for many years, you can't just think, oh, I'm healthy the last couple of months, so I'm good. No, it takes a while. It takes a while for your body to get rid of all the toxins, all the things you've been putting into your body, any processed food, like eating, pizzas and constantly, or ordering fast foods, which is what it is, fast food. You're hungry, you want to resolve your hunger, so you want to get something quick. But it's quicker to add some celery, some carrots, to have a salad than have a burger. Okay? Just saying. I know it's easier, and for some reason you crave the hamburger because there are chemicals, that the preservatives and all the chemicals that are in our food, that make us addicted to the foods. Okay? And I'm not just saying that. You can do your research and find this out, and keep going on search engines and talk, and you can look up different foods, what it has in it. There's a lot of chemicals. For example, we just went through a period of time that there was no baby formula. Okay, and everybody was having a panic, and I didn't realize why we didn't have baby formula. So I went on the internet and I did some research, extensive research, and I found out the reason why we didn't have baby formula is because the FDA recalled Similac and Enfamil formula because there was a couple of deaths that they got. There's an NEC lawsuit, and you can look that up, NEC lawsuit, that some children have died due to the fact of something that was in the formula. Okay, they got some kind of gestational bacteria, and they were affected by that. Now, I don't know how many people have looked at the back of the container of the formula, but do you see what you're feeding your newborn baby? It is all chemicals. I personally breastfed both my children. My older son, Gabriel, I fed for a year, and my second one between almost 10 months. And it is natural, but it takes a while to get used to it. I'm just telling new mothers out there, be patient. If you make 6 weeks breastfeeding, once you pass the 6 weeks, you're good. Your breasts are used to the breastfeeding. It takes a while to have a human like on you, okay? It's not just, okay, you can do it. You have to really, really mentally be prepared for it, and that you're sacrificing for your child. And I think it makes a huge difference, because the first thing that your children eat is something healthy. And that's why women produce breast milk, because they will get all the nutrients from there. They don't need anything else. With that, I only fed my children, I started feeding them food about maybe 8 months. I started giving them sweet potato, bananas, everything that was natural, that you can just take a banana. I don't know why you buy baby food. You can take a banana, smash it up, and there's their banana. That's all you need. Any other fruits, you can do that. You can cook sweet potatoes, carrots, broccoli. There's so many things you can do. They can eat, and they can start eating their veggies when they're little. I train my children to have vegetables since they were young, and they still eat their vegetables. When they were 6, 7 years old, they would fight for the broccoli, okay? Because I would make like 2 things of broccoli, and there would be none for me because they would eat it. And I was fine with that. I'd rather them eat that than anything that's not good for them. So again, eating habits start at the beginning of life. And my special guest, of course, I always have a special guest, Milan. I met Milan, actually, we haven't physically met in person. She lives in Michigan, and I met her through TikTok. I saw her post that she was doing, and I saw her passion that she wanted to make sure that her 3-year-old daughter is eating a healthy diet and raising her properly, or even doing exercise already at 3 years old. So she can have a consistency and a routine in her life, so she gets older, she will continue the legacy. And that's what we need to do with our children, is help them grow and make a better legacy for them, so they can teach their children and so on about eating the right foods. Again, it's a point of just trying to eliminate processed food as much as possible. I know it's difficult. You can do baby steps, just eliminate one thing, in your life in a week. I used to love ice cream, and they have different types. They make ice cream out of avocado. They make it, vegan and everything like that. But it was still empty calories. So guess what? I don't eat ice cream right now. If I crave it, I'll have a little bit. But I'm just saying, I'm on a daily basis. I'm not going to go out. I got to buy ice cream and have it in the freezer. I learned to substitute different foods. So with that said, I'm going to have my guest come on, Milan Robinson, and she's going to discuss, tell us her story and how she began and how she became a holistic nutritionist and why she chose to do that. So without further ado, let's have Milan come on up. Come on out. It's like the price is right. I felt like I was gonna like have, and the prize goes to. Hi, Milan. It's so great to
Hey,
see you. We met online. Really unbelievable how technology works, right? We met on the internet. I saw your posting, and I thought it was so inspiring because I saw you really pushing your daughter, and I think that was the biggest thing that I caught was seeing your little girl, 3 years old, eating her vegetables and just following mommy and doing exercise, and how you're being such an incredible example.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So tell us your story because we all have a story. So tell us your story. How did you start thinking about nutrition and how'd you get started?
When I found out for years, I've been trying to get healthy, prevent myself from becoming diabetic because it runs in my family, so we've been told. And I wanted to avoid those circumstances. When I met my husband, both of us were overweight, and we're both still working on ourselves in our journey, but we were DIYing this whole process. But when I found out I was pregnant, that's when it clicked. You know what I'm saying? I started researching things such as cloth diapers, breastfeeding, things of
Mm-hmm.
that nature. And I was aware of what I was walking into. When I had my daughter and I healed myself, I was healing because she tore me a little bit. It was a little deep. um, I actually invested into a plant-based program that would allow me to pour the information that I received from this program into my family. And then I told myself I wanted to align myself with other healthy people in my life. I did that. Everything started falling in place. I found a nutritional coach that focused on plant-based nutrition, so I invested in that. I was 70 pounds overweight. I actually sat next to a trainer that I ended up hiring, and that helped me lose that weight. Once I put those two together, baby, it was it. It was over. You know what I'm saying? Because um, I had to put myself in a healthy circumstance for myself, for my child, because I want to be an active participating participant in my daughter's life every single day. She want to run, I want to run too. She want to skip, I want to skip too. So now that my daughter's here, I was taking her everywhere. We worked out together. I wore her on my back. I do step aerobics. I do weight training and things of that nature. And now that we're all a whole food, plant-based vegan, I'm able to build that sturdy foundation for her right here, right now. My baby don't know she vegan. She just want to play.
She doesn't know.
She
Yeah,
just
she doesn't understand. She knows she's eating. She doesn't even know it's healthy food. She just knows I'm eating good stuff that mommy's giving me, right?
no, no. So I try to keep everything healthy in my household in close proximities so she can have the choice healthy and she can't go wrong with that. So then I became a holistic nutritionist and I'm currently training to be a plant-based plant-based coach so I can educate mothers how to um, feed their children. Parents that have a history of these chronic diseases transition their children to a whole food plant-based diet and avoid the outcomes that they have previously had, been diagnosed with. So
Right.
that's what I
That's so great.
do.
No, that's so awesome. I think it's an awesome thing that you're doing because, again, it starts with our children, and we don't realize it.
Yes,
It starts with us. It starts with us understanding it. So when we're pregnant, for all the young women out there who are not haven't had babies yet or are pregnant right now, it's something for them to understand. What you take in,
exactly.
they get everything. Everything we eat, they get. So,
Exactly.
if you read labels, like I read labels, and in the beginning I'm like, oh, this is so tiring, right? You go to the store and you're looking
Right.
at the label, like, what is this? What? And my philosophy now is if I can't pronounce it, I'm not eating it. So
Exactly.
And I looked at formula. I looked at baby formula, and I was really appalled what it has in it. Like there's stuff in it. I was reading here. I went looking on the internet. So the new formula now, the Similac and Infamil, has a label on it that says no hormone, no growth hormones, and it has all these things. And I'm like, why is it saying that? I said, because I guess before it had growth hormones in it. There's things in the formula. People don't understand, what's in there, all the chemicals. And now I guess, people have been talking about it. That's why we had a shortage. And then I found this thing that's called cupric sulfite, which is in the formula. It used to be in the formula. It says it's a pesticide, a herbicide, and a fungicide. Why is that in our formula? Why is there a pesticide in our formula? I don't understand. And I don't think people realize it. We just go by what, they say, oh, that's good. When you go to the hospital and you have a baby, they give you a little pamphlet. They give you formula to go and the diapers. I know you talked about cloth diapers. I did cloth diapers too. I did it back 26 years ago. And I had a diaper service. They would come leave the clean diapers. And it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard to use cloth diapers because you have to change them more often. And you have to be careful because of the diaper rash. So you have to change them like 10 times a day. My second child, I tell you right now, I went through the regular diapers. I'm like, it's too much work. You do it once and then the second one, you're like, oh, he'll be okay. But the food, I had a little mini food processor back 26 years ago that I found, and I would take it with me. So when I go to the restaurants, I would ask for steamed vegetables, and I would just like puree it or just mush it up and just give it to them.
Yeah. So like cow's milk is like the worst thing you can give your child. You're supposed to each species has their own source of milk.
Right.
Okay, so you're a whole nother species, a cow that's meant for a pound calf to feed your child. That's only 9 pounds and 5 ounces. That doesn't even add up. You don't even want to go there. So even if I didn't even know that there were other alternatives. So like if you were having trouble breastfeeding, you could hire a lactation consultant, or you can go to a donor source, go to a donor channel, and seek out a mother that has an of milk, and then you're sticking the same species for your child. They're still getting those natural nutrients that they're supposed to get for their actual species. Once I learned that out, because that was a game changer. That was a game. You have to, when you have resources and you have this extra knowledge, you have to pour that into other parents, other people, so that one teach one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's so many avenues out there. I hope that women out there or future mothers or mothers now look at those alternatives. We're right now we're in an age of technology that I find that people have no reason to be ignorant, because the internet, there's so much information, and you can go for reliable. If you keep searching the same topic, you search it a couple of times, you'll get to the real source. That's what I tell people. Right. You have to keep searching and look where you're getting the information from. Are they biased on one side or another, right?
Right.
Because there's just so much out there, and I forgot you were saying something, and I was going to tell you, and I totally lost it now. But it's okay. So let's go into so you got into the nutrition because of your daughter, and plus because of yourself, because you find out that you didn't want to be like your family. Because our culture, like I'm Spanish, I'm from a Puerto Rican family. So we grew up with rice and beans, which is not bad, okay? But a lot of pork, a lot of fried food. The fried food is the problem, okay? All that frying of the food.
Rice and the beans it's until you add all that extra stuff, the salt, the sugar, the butter, the other animal, the ham hocks and all of that, trying to make it all fancy. Leave that real food alone.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't think people realize. I think meat is something that you become addicted to. We're carnivorous. Like we've been raised to be carnivorous. I had a friend of mine who had a child who was not even, I think he was like 2, and we were at a barbecue, and I turned around, the grandmother's giving it a piece of steak. I almost died. I'm like, why is he sucking on a piece of meat? What is your problem? He's just started eating. Give him a sweet potato. Give him a carrot to suck on. Give him something, a strawberry, but a piece of beef, I just can't do it. And that's just me personally. Not everybody's gonna go into that lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we give everybody, everybody has a choice. So you just find what's better for you, what's healthy. Because when I was pregnant, I had gestational diabetes. So I got it the first time, and then I got it the second time. And I didn't understand that. And what my body was already saying was, you're already been eating bad, and you have gestational diabetes because your body changes when you're pregnant. So my sugar was really high when I was pregnant with my first son. I had to go on a diet during my pregnancy because my sugars were up like 600-700. It was ridiculous.
Oh.
Yeah, and then my second child, I got it again, and this time I had to get insulin because my sugar was up at 800. It was ridiculously high. So I gained 28 pounds with my second child, 40 pounds with my first one. I was I was eating. I was like, forget it. By the time I got to work, I already had croissants and coffee, and then I would get to work and have a full eggs and bacon and breakfast and pancakes. I was eating so much with my first one. Because everybody's like, oh, you're eating for 2, so you got to eat more. No, you got to eat the right thing, not more.
That's that part right there. They said I was going to be they said I would have gestational diabetes because it ran in my family, because diabetes ran in my family. And I was like, how are you put me in that parameter? Like, you're just going to automatically assume because I'm African American that I'm going to automatically have gestational diabetes. I was so pissed. Like, don't tell me that. And when they ran my test, I was okay. I was fine. I did not have gestational diabetes. Serena was a little big, but I was okay.
Yeah, exactly. And it's helping people understand that you can reverse many illnesses. That's why I came with this show, because I had the stroke 5.5 years ago, and I reversed. I mean, people say to me like, you had a stroke? I'm like, yeah, I did. And it was scary. Okay, I could not, I'm a miracle, as I say. God has a reason for me to still be alive. And that's why I'm sharing this message with everybody, to help them to get healthier, to understand just even one little change will help huge difference. I was saying before,
Exactly.
I was away, and we stopped to get some coffee, and they didn't have any plant-based milk. So I tasted the coffee, I had to throw it out because I don't drink milk. I was like, grotesque for me, I can't. And then I said, oh, they had like all these fancy donuts. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much sugar. So I'm like, what has the least sugar? And she looked at me like I was crazy. And so I bought something, and literally I ate it, and I was eating it. I'm like, oh, it tastes good. But let me tell you, I was so sick from the sugar because I haven't had a donut in years.
Right.
And I'm like, how did I eat, huh?
Your palate has changed.
Oh yeah, it does change. So I ate I started eating the donut, and I said, I feel sick. I got such a sugar rush. It was horrible. I never knew this would happen because I don't have it in my body anymore. I don't eat sugar.
Exactly.
I use
Right.
honey
And
in my tea.
most people are addicted to salt, oil, and sugar, and they don't even know it. And because salt, oil, and sugar is in every single thing that you eat, it's in your medications, it's in your seasonings, it's in your salad dressing, and you're hoping that you're eating healthy, but it's literally, and they have different names for sugar too. So if you don't know, if you're just used to seeing cane sugar, you're like, okay, I'm fine. But you have Milan alcohols and things of that nature that are there to trick you to think that sugar is not actually in that particular product, but it is. And once you're so educated about that, then you're able to advocate for yourself. You're able to choose different for yourself and your family. Sugar will dehydrate your brain, affect your ability to concentrate, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Sugar is the leading cause to Alzheimer's, and you can't even avoid reverse Alzheimer's.
No.
So if you're eating sugar from day one,
And then
you
our
behind.
kids, like our kids, in schools, the food. I can't remember right now. I'm going to look up the name. I did interview somebody a couple of years ago that was trying to introduce healthy eating in the schools, because if you've been to the public school and you see the food that they're giving our children, it is horrendous. Horrendous. And then they have this thing, when my kids were little at the elementary school, I would pack their lunch and their snacks for like after school care, and they would tell me, no, you can't pack their lunch. I'm like, no, excuse me, my child doesn't eat cookies and garbage. They only wanted, their school told me that I couldn't pack their food. Yeah, because they said, oh, we don't know if anything is in there, and they might give it to somebody else that might be allergic to peanuts or something. I'm like, give me a break, but you're giving them sugar all afternoon, and then you wonder why they don't sit still, and then you label them as ADHD and ADD because they're not sitting still, but you just gave them a whole load of sugar.
Yep.
You know?
And
no vegetables. No vegetables.
Not at all.
You know, my older son, Gabriel, he would go to school every day with a bag of lettuce. You know, the pre-bags of them, like the Caesar salad. He would take that to school. He would shake it up and eat the whole salad for lunch. And the kids were like, you're eating salad? He goes, yep. And he wouldn't eat anything in the cafeteria. Like, I would give him his food and everything like that. Oh, I lost you for a second. Where'd you go, Melania? There you go. We have like 5 minutes, but... so what do you think the best is, like, how are you doing with your daughter? I mean, routine is important, consistency. What do you like feeding her in the morning for breakfast, just for example?
Serenity, I like to do Nutrize with Serenity. I like variety. Her diets will not be deficient. I like to bring her with me through this experience when I go grocery shopping and things of that nature. What do I feed her for breakfast? I feed her sweet potatoes, oatmeal, whatever she requests, you know what I'm saying? But I make sure that they're whole, real foods that still have their nutritional value. That's the main thing. You know what I'm saying? There's no breakfast food, there's no dinner food, you know what I'm saying? But prepackaged, pre-seasoned, and processed food are not a frequent in my household because I know the damage that they do to your body and the harm that they do. So I had to change the narrative and the thinking of myself and my husband in order to pour that into my child so I can effectively guide her throughout this process. So just like the other day, my aunt came over and she was like, I need a banana. I need an apple. I want my greens. I want farro. Many children don't have access, or their parents don't provide the access to these whole real foods. I grew up, we had ramen noodle soup, you know what I'm saying? My mom was feeding me. Calorically, I was fed, but nutritionally, I was lacking. And now that I know that and the importance of that, I make sure that I provide that for my child because they are our future.
Yeah.
We brought them here. They didn't ask to be here. So at minimum, I can at least, you know what I'm saying, feed her nutritionally so she can be extraordinary. Because my baby future is going to be bright.
That's right. That's right. Amen. That's right. She is going to be a powerhouse woman. And she's going to follow after her mother. And that's right. Hey, we got to go there. She is. That's how you have to train your children how you want to grow up. And it's really just we need to educate parents.
Yep. Parents have to lead by example. Take her to exercising classes. I make sure I created a healthy a nice ecosystem for my child so she'll know what health looks like because I want her to normalize and not unhealthy behaviors as we did growing up. I don't want her to wait till she's 30 years old to figure this thing out. I want her to, and let health be the lead. So I make sure I do that every single day.
No, that's awesome. You get a gold star for that. That's for sure. And I hope that with your passion, that you help a lot of people out there and a lot of women out there and men and parents out there. Reach out to Milan.
Right.
I'm gonna have all her information so you can reach her and she can help you with your nutrition and just learn and teach your children young. You can break this curse. They say it's a curse. In many biblical, in the book and in the Bible and other places, they talk about like generational curse. And what that really is just breaking all bad habits. If you think about it, it's breaking the bad habits about the fried chicken, the fried fish, everything fried. Unfortunately, sometimes when people have less means too, the cheap food is not good food. I've been to supermarkets that are like really low end supermarkets. It's horrible. It's all processed, all cereals full of sugars and everything like that. But they always have a section with potatoes and sweet potatoes. So try to gravitate that way. And you can do so much with that. And just, ensure your child's life to be better and not get to the point where I had a stroke. Because there's no reason. I don't wish it on anybody. Nobody should go through any physical trauma that can take your life. Because I'm here as a miracle. Right. I could have been dead 5 years ago, but I'm not. So I'm here to talk to you guys. And I really appreciate, Milan, you being here. We have about a minute left, so I'm just going to sign out. But thank you so much. We'll have you on again. I want to have you on again to talk more about nutrition and exactly, how people can do it. But check her out. She's on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'll put all the links below so you can see what she's doing. And, again, follow us on Rebooted the Podcast so you can learn something too, and maybe it'll make you healthier today, Let's see. So, again, your culture, everything affects the way you eat. So it's just trying to be out of the box and don't go by what's out in the restaurants. You can always ask, like I go to the restaurant and I'll say, can I have this and this? Can I have steamed vegetables instead of a steamed fish or something if I'm going to eat fish or whatever? There's alternative ways you can eat. So it's just learning your choices. So again, thank you, Milan, for your time today. I really appreciate it, and continue the good work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So just to close, just to let you know, on Friday we have an event at Genesis Events in Pompano Beach. You can see the flyer on my social media. We're having Latin night on Friday, June 24th. It starts at 9 p.m. It's only $10 at the door. You bring your own bottle, okay? We don't sell liquor. We have all the waters and the mixers and the ice for you and the buckets, but you can bring a sealed bottle, okay? No mixers. You only can bring a sealed bottle of liquor or wine, whatever you want to drink. We'll supply you with the cups and all that stuff. And come on and have a dance party Friday night, 9 o'clock at Genesis. So don't forget there, Latin night. And today I didn't have any commercials, but I will put more links up. Again, I always talk about Club Secret. It's a VIP membership lifestyle. You have to get in it. I've been doing it now, and it's been great. I'm also making money from it too. So I don't know why people get so nervous about it, but it's an incredible membership. You get discounts on everything: flights, hotels, movie tickets, entertainment. You want to go to Disney, you get like half the price of normal to go to Disney or Universal. So you'll have to check it out. Send me a message and I'll give you all the information. Anyway, have a great week and I'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Rebooted the Podcast to learn about each episode's guests and topics. This is your host, Alita Hernandez. See you next Tuesday.